I still believe that Home Assistant Yellow is one of the best ways to start with your Home Assistant smart home adventure. But sometimes you need to upgrade things. And today we will be looking at how you can upgrade your Home Assistant Yellow. We'll start in a couple of seconds. All of you probably know that Home Assistant Yellow packs everything inside a neat tiny box. But maybe when you got your Yellow due to availability issues, you got a low-end CM4 module, or you are running out of disk space. Today we will be looking at two things that you can do with your Home Assistant Yellow to put additional power in it. Because unlike green, yes, you can also replace the computing module inside. And that means that if you do not have enough RAM to run everything that you want to run on your Yellow, you can replace the module. Let me tell you about my use case. I'm using Home Assistant Yellow as a recording and test machine. That means that a lot of things get installed, both as HACS integrations, front-end components, but also add-ons for Home Assistant. The problem with my setup is that my Yellow only had 2 gigs of RAM. Just 2 of them. And since I do, as I said, install a lot of add-ons and components, I had issues with testing some of them. My system was always running around 90-95% of the RAM used. Of course, I previously installed already NVMe upgrade that I will show in just a couple of seconds, but that meant that a lot of processing power was going to the swap instead of being used directly from RAM. The second thing is that my CM4 module also has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi module that I actually do not need. But it's not that I'm not using it, it's actually messing up with something else that I want to do with my Yellow. And that is the problem with the Bluetooth. Since the CM4 module that I have has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capability, this Bluetooth capability is already detected by the Home Assistant OS, and because of that I'm unable to install one additional module, and that is the Z-Wave module. I decided it is finally time to ditch this CM4 module and get my hands on a new one. For my test setup, for my recording setup, I decided to go not for 2 gig version, not for 4 gig version, but for 8 gig version of the CM4. And also decided to go without any Wi-Fi or Bluetooth capability. I decided to go with 8 gig version for eMMC storage, but actually I could have opted out with the version without any eMMC storage. And it would be maybe much easier to migrate everything. My biggest issue is that I couldn't get my hands on any CM4 modules locally, and it really took me a long time to find one online and get my hands on it. Finally, it was the light at the end of the tunnel. Ever feel like the sun has too much say in your home? Introducing Yoolax Smart Shades, the ultimate solution for modern living. With just tap on your phone or a simple voice command, control the light and privacy in any room. Yoolax Smart Shades blend cutting-edge technology with elegant design, enhancing your home's comfort and style. No matter what type of smart home you're using, from Amazon, Google, Apple, or even SmartThings and Home Assistant, you will be able to hook up Yoolax Shades. Whether you are waking up in the morning, enjoying the afternoon nap, or creating the perfect ambience for a movie night, Yoolax Smart Shades are the cater to your needs. Easy to install, customizable to fit any window, and compatible with most smart home systems, Yoolax Smart Shades bring convenience and luxury to your fingertips. Choose from a wide range of colors and materials to match your decor. With Yoolax, it's not just about functionality, it's about style. Upgrade your home today with Yoolax Smart Shades. Visit yoolax.com or Amazon link down in the description to learn more and experience the future of home comfort. But now let's get back to the installation of the NVMe inside Home Assistant Yellow. First thing that we will be looking at is how you can add the NVMe module. And this is one of the things that I did a year or so ago. Why go with NVMe module instead of the included eMMC storage on the computer module? First of all, there is a big difference in speed. And here I'm really talking about big and significant differences. If you're running a large system, if you have a lot of entities, if you have a lot of data in your database, you will definitely see much better performance out of your Yellow if you invest in NVMe disk. Second issue with the eMMC storage, of course, is a lifespan. Unlike SSD drives, eMMC storage, any eMMC storage, has a much shorter lifespan. And depending once again on number of entities, database size, number of commits, number of writes on the eMMC module, you may end up losing all your data because the eMMC module can get corrupted. So if you are still running your yellow with internal memory on the CM4 module, I would definitely recommend that you go for investment and buy the NVMe card. This doesn't have to be the most expensive, the fastest NVMe module out there, because there is a bottleneck on the bus or on the board itself. I did went with the Samsung Evo module because that's what I had in my home. The installation process is very simple. You need to shut down your Home Assistant Yellow, unplug the power cable, Ethernet cable, and any other USB ports if you have something there, turn it upside down and unscrew the 4 screws. Remove the top cover. You have to remove the screw that is screwed in where the board will go. Plug in the NVMe module. Use the provided screw to fix it down so it doesn't move. And then close the case, return the 4 bolts, and you are good to go. Next thing, you have to boot up the Home Assistant. Go to System Settings, Storage, and then click Move Data to Disk. Select from drop-down name of the disk drive that you just installed and click Move. This process will take some time. The system will now shut down, or it will look like it has shut down, but actually it is preparing to do reboot, and after that, in the backend, it will move all the data. When the data has successfully finished migrating, the system will start up, and after it finishes startup, you will see that the information about disks has changed. Use space has changed, and now you will have much more free space on the drive. If we now go to System and Storage, you can see that we have now much more space, and no, you will not be able to move data back that easily. Unlike installation of the NVMe, replacement of CM4 is not that easy, both in terms of hardware replacement of the module, but also what you need to do to get everything working up after you finish the process. It's not the problem of replacing physical module. Yes, it's a bit more complex than NVMe, but the biggest issue is that you want to have your Home Assistant running after you finish the process. So first things first, of course, is you need to do backup. For this, I recommend that you do 2 types of backups, and also don't forget to download them, because if you leave them on your yellow machine, you will not be able to access them and you have no use of them. First, create a full backup so you have everything. That means all the core modules, everything in the core, but also all the add-ons and all the other settings that were used or installed on your system. Once again, depending on the size of your system, it can take some time. Second backup that I also recommend that you do while you are already here is do a core update. That means that you do not do full but partial backup, and then in the list select just the core module. Give it a name, click create, and that's it. Just to make sure you don't miss it, the next step, of course, is to download both the full backup and also this partial backup that you just did. You should now have tar files, named whatever you named them originally, on your local PC. Now we can start with the CM4 replacement procedure. Once again, do complete system shutdown. After it has shut down, unplug the power, unplug the Ethernet cable, and of course also unplug all the USB devices if you have any on the back side. Turn the device upside down, unscrew the 4 screws on the bottom, open the top lid, and remove the PCB out of the case. Next thing, you will need some kind of pliers or something similar, because you will need to pinch in the plastic that is holding the vent on the top of the CM4 module to push them through the hole. Be careful not to break those legs, because we will be needing this vent later on. On the back side of the heatsink, you will see 2 thermal pads. Those pads are used to dissipate the heat from the CPU and other modules on the board directly to the heatsink. It is recommended that if you can, you also replace them. But once again, I was replacing this during the weekend and I decided to go with the old ones. Remember, we will need those thermal pads later on when we replace the module. In the next step, slowly, by using just your fingers, no tools, because tools can damage the board, peel off the board. Just push it or tilt it on one side, and it should slowly pop out. Then take the next module, align it with the lines on the board, wiggle it around so it falls where it needs, and press it in. There are 2 connectors. If everything is correct, you should hear the satisfying click. Then we need, of course, to return the heatsink, position it over the board so that 2 pads also are positioned over the CPU and the other module too. Align those black push rods on the holes, push them through, and this should be it. Return the board inside the case, screw in 4 screws, plug back any USB devices that you haven't plugged, plug in the Ethernet cable, and also power if you are not using Home Assistant Yellow over the PoE. And that's it. Actually, no. This is once again around half or maybe 1/3 of the process. But it also depends on what type of the CM4 module you had previously. As I said, I had CM4 module that had built-in OS on it. Although I did move my data back to the NVMe module, unfortunately my CM4 didn't want to boot because the new eMMC storage was empty. So what I did, I created the installation copy of Home Assistant OS on a USB thumb drive. Download and install, if you haven't already, Raspberry Pi Imager. Select a Raspberry Pi device that you want to work with. In my case, this is Raspberry Pi 4 because it also includes the compute modules. Select OS. Here go to Other Specific Purpose OS. Select Home Assistant and Home Automation. And from the list, select Home Assistant. There are two OSs available. We need to go for Home Assistant OS installer for yellow. And from the storage menu, select the USB drive that you want to install this OS on. After you have created the USB thumb drive or bootable thumb drive, go back to your yellow, insert the USB stick inside, plug back in the power cable, and when the system starts to boot up, press and hold the blue button. The blue button will tell yellow to avoid any eMMC OS there is, also to ignore the NVMe drive, and instead to go for the USB drive. This installation will take some time, and what you will get at the end is that your system will be gone. You will have a fresh new instance of Home Assistant running, this time out of NVMe storage on the Home Assistant Yellow. But all of your data is gone. Actually, it's not gone, since we already prepared the full backup. In the next step, after Home Assistant has woken up, select Restore from the backup file, select your full backup file, and submit it. The restore procedure now will take, depending on the size of your system, up to half an hour or even a couple of minutes more. But when the system boots up back again, you will have working Home Assistant restored from your backup, and you will also have upgraded your Home Assistant Yellow with both NVMe and also the newer version of the CM4 module. Both the installation of NVMe drive and also replacement of the CM4 module are really not that hard. They can be time consuming, especially if you need to restore your system from the scratch. But that's why we always have or always create our backups. For all of you that are now planning to say, hey, why are you wasting so much money on this? You can run this out of Nuke or something else. Yes, sure, but Nuke is nowhere near as good as Yellow. And here I'm not talking about the compute power. Here I'm talking about a device that has everything on board that you need to start in home automation. This board, of course, includes the Silicon Labs module, the Sky Connect module. It is Matter compatible, and you can select if you want to go with Zigbee or you can go with the Matter over Thread. Now some of you will say, but you can go and grab a USB stick or network coordinator, plug it in or hook it up to your network, and you can have the same with the Nuke. Yes, but everything here is inside one case. And one thing that this machine has that Nuke cannot have, yes, you can also install internally Z-Wave module, but this will be topic of my next video. What are the options for the Z-Wave inside Home Assistant? Sure, the Nuke can be faster, sure, the Nuke can run much more things that the Yellow can. Yes, on Nukes, mini PCs, servers, you can run some other things besides Home Assistant or on top of Home Assistant, but I still do believe that Home Assistant Yellow is best value for money for everybody starting in Home Assistant to get the most out-of-box experience for any local controlled smart home enthusiasts. I really do hope that you did enjoy the video, and if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button so that YouTube knows that this video is good and that more people should see it. And while you are already there, check that you are subscribed. If you are not subscribed, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss on the future video updates and of course my streams. And before I end up this video, I really would like to thank all those wonderful people that are supporting me and that have become YouTube channel members. Thank you all for all of your support. But let's not forget each and every one of you who has watched, liked, commented, shared my videos. Thank you. If you too want to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the join button down below and becoming a YouTube channel member for only €2 or $2 per month. Or you can go to my merchandise store and get something there. Last but not least, as always, you can send me super thanks and I will be super thankful for that. I'll be seeing you next time. Until then, bye bye and have fun.